Good morning, Viking. You might have been waking up to a tweet by Richard Svensson, the CEO of Iron Gate, who makes Valheim, saying, "If you get a black screen when connecting to a server after the recent update, most likely the server needs to be updated. Hashtag Valheim." And I was thinking, oh no, well, I'm sure he doesn't have that voice, but let's just pretend. And I was thinking that, oh no, I'm going to be streaming in 12 hours. Hopefully I don't have any issues. So I went to check to see, hey, what are these changes in the latest update? So this video is going to be me going through the different patch updates of 0.146.8 start date and all that has been changed and fixed. So you can just listen along. There's not a lot of things to show, but there are some things that you might actually care about. So the first really interesting thing is that the Steam actually labels this one as a small update. But then I read the patch note that says, "Today's patch has some major changes," which doesn't sound like a small update, but they're saying that the biggest change is the updated socket backend, which should improve connection issues for a lot of players. I have not, at least personally, had any connection issues, but it's good that they're fixing whatever is there. They're also adding Vulkan support, which is really interesting. And they've been working on the world corruption bugs that have been caused by logging out and Alt F4ing to kill things. And something that really will be impacting people is they're saying balancing fixes were made on bosses to make them more challenging. You guys are killing them too fast. So apparently you guys have been too good at killing bosses. Don't do that. One important thing to note is that changes in the character's save data means that once the character has been loaded and saved in this new version, they can no longer be loaded in an older version of Valheim. Not that that really matters because you probably will be playing in the latest version anyway. So let's have a look here. One of the fixes is the crafting item dupe bug fix. I actually have not been using any item crafting dupes because it's so easily to duplicate things anyway. But anyway, good they're fixing. Harpoon player and ship bug fix. I know they've been using Harpoon to toss people around and everything, so maybe they've been altering that. Fix player ragdoll, always good. Bone mass, motor, Yagluth difficulty tweaks. So I guess they're going to be more difficult, which is really interesting because a lot of people are saying bone mass, which is the third boss, is actually super tough compared to motor and Yagluth. The motor music has been updated. And here's one that hopefully will help some. Tombstone bug fix, but they do mention that it probably won't fix the disappearing tombstones though. So if it does happen, you can always cheat things in a single player and log the player back into your multiplayer game. That's one way for covering. I do have a video in my playlist of how to do that. Now the next thing is to fix the world corruption caused by pressing Alt F4 while logging out. And as always, try not to kill the game because it can cause premature abort of saving things down to the files. And that can cause corruption and then you can't load it. Death Squiddos have a slightly longer audio range. You should hear them from slightly further away, which I think is very useful. Tweaked audio on blast furnace and spinning wheel, good. Some of those have been a little bit too loud and a little bit too off. So it's good that they're sort of balancing, even though they might seem like a small thing. And here's a quality of life. Shared map position setting is saved per world because this is something that people are highlighting. They log into one world, they have to click the share map position. Then they'll log out and log in again. And it's like, no, you have to click it again. And every time you forget that, people can see where you are. So that's really helpful. It should have been there. Updated network stats, F2. I'm sure you haven't been using that, but you can. It'll tell you some information about the connectivity. Building destruction drop fix. Good. I mean, I'm not really sure what that specifically is because they don't go into it, but any fixes they do when it comes to building a destruction, maybe it wasn't dropping the correct things. I think some people were saying that they were having issues where they were deconstructing things and they weren't getting all the material back. So maybe that's part of the fix. The Vulkan support in Windows builds, again, might be useful. The network disconnection bug fix, again, very good. And the updated socket backend. So this update seems to be mostly around a bunch of fixes with the rebalancing of the bosses. Oh, I don't know. Actually, it's going to be interesting to see how they made them more difficult, especially bone mass, because already quite a challenge. I do hope that they sneak in some updates of not just fixing things, but also giving us a little bit of extra content as well, mixed up with all these fixes, because while I know they want to drop everything in sort of nice updates in the roadmap, but having some even in the meanwhile would actually be really nice. So what do you think? Have you run across any of these bugs before that has caused you problems? And if so, do you think that the fixes will address it? That's it. Told you it's not going to be that long. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and make sure you check the top of the description where I have my Valheim playlist, a bunch of guides and how-tos. See you next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.